look at the 4-game NHL slate on DraftKings tonight. Starting with the highest targetability ratings, we're looking at Edmonton and Boston, neck and neck at the top. And then behind them we have Toronto, and then below that we have Dallas as the top 4 teams I'm looking at. Edmonton 1, Boston 1, 1A, 1B. Then a small drop to Dallas 2, or Toronto 2, sorry, and then a bigger drop to Dallas 1 for tonight. Now I should mention that the 2-week goalie stats are from the end of the regular season. They do not include the first playoff game. So like Swayman had a really good game 1, but his playoff stats are not included yet. In about a week, I'll use the playoff only numbers for their 2-week save percentage and goals against average. But for right now, this is just the last couple weeks of the regular season stats. Just something to consider when you're building your lineups tonight. So on a first glance, obviously my goal is to get Edmonton 1 and Boston 1. Edmonton 1, typically pretty expensive. Boston 1, not too bad outside of Pastrnak. And if the lines are the same as last game, you could get Pasta, and it was Heinen and Zacha on the same line. And I think they were also on the top power play line. Let's check that real quick, because that could be a really nice spot to target and get some salary. So it's still Heinen, Zacha, and Pastrnak, top line, and they have top power play correlation. So that's probably where I'm going to start tonight, with Pasta, Zacha, and Heinen. And then Shattenkirk playing on the top power play is interesting for cheap if you want to go with 4 Boston and save some salary too to get in those Edmonton guys. I think that's a really interesting way to go if you go with 4 Boston, 3 of them cheap and paying up for Pastrnak, and then trying to get whoever you can from Edmonton 1 and to round out your stacks. Not to say you can't play anybody else, but those are the obvious best targets for me tonight. If you need some more salary savers, and you've been watching a couple of my videos, you know I'm looking to target cheap shot blocking defensemen, guys that have a chance to get that 3 block shot bonus. And I like to look at Money Puck to look for matchups where a team gets their shots blocked a lot and they're playing a team that blocks a lot of shots. We have one really good series in the first round for that, and that's the Hurricanes and the Islanders. Hurricanes get their shots blocked at the second highest rate. Islanders block the most shots in the league, which is why we have 3 Islanders on this list. You can go Romanov, Pelech, or Bortuzzo, and I feel pretty good about any of those guys. Just kind of depends on how much salary you need to save. But Bortuzzo, at stone minimum, has a real chance at the 3 block shot bonus, and if he does block 3 shots, doesn't have to do anything else, you still feel good about him at that price. Vegas, they are one of the best shot blocking teams in the league. It's not a great matchup for them against Dallas. Vegas right here. Dallas is a slightly above average. They're about right here behind the Avs logo. So Vegas is an okay spot for shot blockers. The problem is they don't have a lot of cheap shot blockers. They have a lot of really quality defensemen that you have to pay for. So McNabb is kind of the cheapest one, but even he is still almost 4K. So I put him on the list, but he's not a realistic option unless you just have extra money for your last defenseman slot. And then Boston, it's not a great shot blocking matchup. It's very slightly above average. So Boston, ever so slightly blocks more than average. Toronto, ever so slightly gets their shot blocked more than average. So very, very minimal advantage. But Boston does have a couple guys who are elite shot blockers, and Andrew Peeke and Brandon Carlo, and they're both sub 3K. So that's somewhere else you can go. Obviously, the Islanders shot blockers are going to be my first look if I need a cheap defenseman. And then if I have the money for McNabb, great. If not, I'd be fine playing Peeke or Carlo. But again, Islanders are where I'm going to go to save some money tonight. As for goalies, it's the playoffs. Any team can get goalied. Anderson's clearly in the best spot. They have one of the best defenses. Islanders, one of the worst offenses in the playoffs. He's the most likely to get the win. But if you're looking for upside, go to one of those other guys. Hello. All right, good luck tonight.